Welcome into another episode of the Brand X Podcast, episode 118. I am one of your hosts, John, and alongside me, Deuce.
Come stop, bitches.
Congratulations, Grandpa.
Yeah, thanks. That's Pop-Pop.
Pop-Pop.
Yeah, damn right. That's how we do it in my family.
Well, you know...
You start out as Pop-Pop and you graduate into Grandpop.
Okay, so I'm Pop-Pop also.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to be Pop-Pop.
No?
I felt like I was too young to be Pop-Pop.
Nah.
I wanted to be G-Pop. G-Pop sounds cool.
Sounds like a rap star.
It does sound like a rap star. I like G-Pop.
You can't have that.
Can't have G-Pop?
No, you're too white to be a rap star.
So I wanted
You
to be...
have no street cred to go by that.
Come on. I think I had enough street... The kid's just talking. How much does the kid know about street cred? I just wanted to be G-Pop. I was telling him G-Pop. Nope, Pop-Pop. So you end up being whatever your grandson wants you to be. When I was a baby, my mother's mother, my grandmother, she could not wait for me to call her grandmom. Mm-hmm. She kept saying, say grandmom, say grandmom. I called her Pinky until I was 2.
Pinky?
Where the hell does Pinky come from?
She used to wear a pink shirt or dress or something?
I have no idea. I called her Pinky. I don't remember it.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
A friend of mine I went to school with, her grandson called her E-Mom. Because I guess he couldn't say grandmom, so he called her E-Mom. He still calls her E-Mom. He's out of college now. He's
has he mastered English?
Yeah, he's a master marine. They just stuck. E-Mom just stuck. So Pop-Pop, hopefully Pop-Pop sticks for you. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know what'll happen? Your grandson will call you G-Pop, and that'll piss me off.
And I'll be sure to let you know if that happens.
Yeah, he's calling me G-Pop all the time.
Guess what?
Damn it.
Guess what?
That was my name.
Yeah, so he's a week old today, as a matter of fact.
All right.
Went in on a Monday, went in on a Tuesday, came out on a Thursday. So my daughter-in-law was in labor for about 28 hours, and then I was like, yeah, that's too long. We're going in.
Yeah.
So, and that was that.
Yeah, that labor shit. God love women. Well, anyhow, congratulations. Cheers. We have a new drink. No old fashions today.
No, something different.
All right, so I'm going to try it. He wouldn't tell me what it was, so I'm going to try it. If you hear a spitting sound, I don't know. That's outstanding. What is that?
Kamikazes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, when was the last time you had a kamikaze?
I don't remember when, but I remember the aftermath was me hanging over a fence throwing up into somebody's bushes.
Well, I won't let you get that bad.
Wow, they do taste good.
Yeah, and they sure do.
I drank a pitcher of these.
Yeah, you told that story the last time we had mentioned kamikaze.
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
Damn, that's a good drink. I might have to start drinking kamikaze.
And they're so easy to make.
A lot easier to make than the old fashions.
Well, when you get used to making old fashions, they're easy. But yes, it's just equal parts of vodka, triple second lime juice, and you just toss a lime in there.
That's an outstanding drink.
Shake it in ice, pour it out.
All right.
Imbibe.
I like it.
It's very summery.
It is very summery. It's got that citrus feel to it. All right.
After a while, you have enough of it, you feel like you can conquer the world, just full of liquid courage.
All right, so my first question to you. Mm-hmm. Is there anything you do now in your life where you go back to your 15-year-old self, where you do stuff where you're a mature person now, you've got responsibilities?
I'm still an idiot. What do you mean? I think that I'm still the same guy I always was.
I get, yeah.
Although my outlook on some things have changed, but I still think of myself as the class clown that I was in high school and
I don't think
elementary school, and
I don't think I've changed either. And I think my outlet for my 15-year-old self is podcasting. Mm-hmm. But you've known me for a long time. Am I any different now when we talk than I was when you first met me?
No, not really.
Okay. I say that to say this. So last night, we were doing the Boomer Bunker. And we live streamed the Boomer Bunker, which I am becoming less and less of a fan of live streaming or live streaming. I become less of a fan.
Kamikaze went right to you.
So,
Have lime on the mind.
now, I've been dealing with trolls in podcasting since we started, live streaming, which was back in 2018, whatever it was, 16, 15, whatever it was.
I remember you got a troll.
Yeah, I've been dealing with this for a long, long time.
That was your Twitter troll, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a Twitter troll. But, I mean, as far as people coming in and trolling in the chat or during the live stream, they come into the chat and they troll you. I picked up this one guy. We talked about it last show. He lives in Township.
Which one?
I'm not telling you which one. He lives in Township. And he has his own little YouTube internet show, which he makes a podcast. And one thing podcasting has taught me is not to get so hyped up over myself. So I go back because am I reactionary? I'm very reactionary.
I guess you read the look on my face.
Yeah. I don't sit and ponder for a while.
No, you're just a flashpoint.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Some people have a fuse. Some people have a short fuse. And then there's those of us that are just primer. And boom!
So he and a couple other guys, they're breaking my balls. They're calling me fat. They're calling me old. They say I can't podcast. They don't like my background. Because the kids today, what they do today is they put a green screen up and then they put a city backdrop. Because, right.
Hey, sometimes you just need a fly swatter. You don't necessarily need a nuclear fly swatter. If a banner does you good, who cares?
Yeah, again, it's supposed to be just of the video of us recording the audio podcast. It's one of the reasons why I love Brand X. Jesus, I didn't even realize this, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4 people in the Discord chat right now. So they're listening. They're fans.
Hello.
So they're fans, and they're listening. So last night, we're feuding with the Eric Zane podcast. And it's because of the fans that came from Eric Zane's show to this show. And Eric doesn't like them. So we're feuding. Last night we had a troll come into the chat. And I watched him. I got my eye on him. And then he said something to me like, why is that fat guy making all the mouth noises? Well, of course I'm going to address it. I'm like, I didn't realize I was making mouth noises. Let me adjust my microphone. I wasn't paying attention. Then he said something else. So now the chat is in there. The chat is fighting with this. Now the chat's fighting, right? I'm doing a show. I can't really pay attention to that shit. So everybody was upset.
So there's a show going on that you're not really aware of.
There's a show that's going on.
There's a background show to this show.
It's a show. I want to go back and watch it. So finally at the end, Bob's like, fuck this guy, because I think he said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn you in. I'm going to turn you in. I'm going to get your channel taken down. Like that hasn't been done. Bob banned him. I don't like doing that because I feel like it's like calling the cops in a fight. You get your ass kicked, and then you call the cops. To me, Duchess don't like this. Bob doesn't like it. To me. So some of the fans were saying, don't feed the trolls. Don't do anything to the trolls. So I said, all right, but that's not me. I can't do that. It bothers me more to just sit there and watch some nitwit go in there and chat. Now, one of the things the trolls have taught me is like, oh, you want to troll? I'll come into your live stream and I'll troll you. So I go into the people that hate me. I go in there and they're saying stuff and I type like things that a 15-year-old would type. They just ignore me because they do. I guess I should do that. I don't know. I feel in my heart of hearts that it wouldn't be me if I just let it go. So,
yeah, but see, then you feed the machine.
You do feed the machine.
Yeah, then it's like you're giving them exactly what they want. Yeah, they want that attention.
Sure, you're right.
Yeah. I got involved recently with a not by my doing. Somebody posted something on Facebook, and I don't even know why I care so much, but they were historically wrong. So I said, no, well, just go in and I don't want. You know why? Because I respect people too much to walk around being wrong, and then they could potentially make a fool of themselves. So I was like, that's not correct. Blah, 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 blah. And out of left field comes Sir Lancelot, and this guy's, it was a girl, of course, an angry, bitter lesbian. Like, is there any other kind? So I don't know this woman, so I just like let it go. And I found out, I just put like one of my pithy memes up there, and I just like, she tagged me, I tagged her back with a pithy meme, and then she just went nuts. Because I just wasn't going to feed her. I was just like, if you always, and I like to use like Shakespeare, here you go, and then that was it. And then she just lost her fucking mind. And then I was like, what? Didn't matter that much. But I get what you're saying. Like sometimes you just feel like obligated that you have to answer. Yeah, and she like kept tagging me like 4 or 5 times. And after a while, so you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. It was like I never responded to her all except for the meme. And but on the aside, other people that saw said, yeah, that was actually pretty well handled by you. I'm surprised. Yeah, I have my moments.
See, to you, that's your outward thing. Me, I've been doing this before the internet really started. Like,
no, you and Al Gore, huh?
Well,
you took the initiative and helped create podcasting.
My first foray into trolling was an email that you sent me, and I replied to all.
Yeah, well, that was a whole different. That wasn't really. Yeah, that guy's dead now.
So
you killed him.
Deuce, back in the day when we used to email, that was our form of communication. He emailed me something.
That's way before Facebook.
Right.
Yeah, that's how we share jokes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then
Just a chain email with 900 people, but John doesn't know enough not to hit reply all. Now everybody sees it.
John knew exactly what John was doing. So John went in there and replied all, and then John got into a fight with who?
I don't want to say his name on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's dead. Who cares? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But anyhow.
He did.
So, I've been doing this my whole entire life. I don't know. It makes me take pause. It just happened last night. It's fresh in my mind. I can't get it out of my mind. Like friends are fighting. They're in a chat that I wasn't even in, and they're like, John, stop talking to him.
See, that's the kind of stuff that I don't. You always wonder why I don't go into Discord and all that. I just don't have the time for it.
No, I get it.
I just don't want to. I don't even engage in it. I don't even like be bothered with. It's like
part of it's true.
It's like you got a lot of goddamn drama now. Just a podcast, like because I heard you guys on the Sunday night thing, and you're stream sniping, and you got to worry about that bullshit. It's just like, it's supposed to be fun.
It is supposed to be fun. I do most of this as jokes.
Yeah.
I bring up the chat now, and all of a sudden, here we go. See, it touches. We. Oh, me. Hey, hi. Yeah.
What, does she speak French?
We. Bob's rhymes with nothing, says, big, tough John. I'm not tough. I'm a keyboard warrior. I don't do this. Like I said, someone said something about fighting. I said, listen, my fighting days are over. Mm-hmm. 30
that's
years ago.
The truth, because, a lot of this crap that goes on, people have, like you said, are keyboard warriors. And, people treat each other far more shittier than we would if we were face to face.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and this, and I think that's like it's kind of a degradation of society, in my opinion.
Because if you did this shit when you were face to face,
you would be corrected.
You would be punched in the nose.
That's self-correcting behavior. Because if you act like an asshole and someone hands your ass to you with a thunder punch to the throat, you won't do that anymore. But you have that anonymity going on. It's like, ooh, I'm gonna type in all capital letters to make sure you know that I'm angry. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And then when you block me, I'm gonna go make another account, change my name, and come back in again as another person.
So counterproductive. It's like, pick up a fucking book.
Oh, reading, God, it's the worst thing in the world.
Well, among the illiterate, yes.
I can't read.
There's no pictures in this book. I can't.
I can read.
I can't stay inside the lines with this.
I start reading, and then all of a sudden they'll say something. I'll be reading the book, and all of a sudden they'll say something, and I'll go, oh, yeah, I wonder if what the next thing I know, I'm on a second page. I'm like, I just don't remember anything I just read.
Yeah, you can train yourself out of that. You just don't want to.
Old dog. Hey.
I'm just as old as you. I'm still reading.
You know what I do now? I listen. I have a, and here's another
Well,
thing.
that's fine too,
Yeah.
as long as you're ingesting something.
Yeah, I listen to books now.
The only problem with listening to a book is, well, the type of books that I like to read, I don't think I would get as much out of as listening to it as to reading it, because I like the bibliographies, I like the footnotes, because then there's a whole nother story behind that fact. And I don't know, I've never listened to an audiobook of a history book, so I don't think you're necessarily going to get that.
There's a couple of audiobooks I've listened to on poker, poker theory. I listened to the Anthony Cumia book. I listened to the Glenn Beck book, The Great Reset.
Okay.
So I listen to that book. What I do now is when I sleep, I live near a busy road, so there's traffic going back.
Yeah,
and
it should be
forth.
the police should be rolling out any second.
Yeah, so
Because every podcast we do in here, you hear the cops rolling out.
so at night, it's hard for me to go to sleep because there's traffic and beeping and people walking by and talking. So I turn on podcasts. They're on all night long. I set them up 8 hours and I go to sleep. So I said, you know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try these self-hypnotic books. And they started giving me nightmares. So I said, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. So then I just picked up another one where it was like stories. They tell you stories at night. And I was listening to the stories and right to sleep I go.
Goldilocks and the Three
Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So
Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day.
like in an hour, I woke up with another nightmare. Now, the first nightmare that I got when I was doing that self, I could remember them. This one I can't even remember now. But all I know is woke up, I was like, what the hell? I'm going back to podcasts again. It's just background noise. They said, oh, you should put on like ocean or that kind of stuff. So that does drive you crazy. Do you ever have a fly in the room at night and the sucker's doing that? And you wake up and you're like, that's it. You're a dead motherfucker. And you leap out of bed as much as I can leap out of bed. And you grab something and you're chasing this fly around the room and smacking it until you kill it. I didn't start this. You did.
Last year, I guess it was like fall, like the end of summer going into fall. I was like, it must have been the biggest fly on the fucking planet. You know, it was in the room and it sounded like a B-52. It's like, and it's like he's bumping into like the window blind. So he's in between. Like,
You can hear him.
Yeah, it's like boom, 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 boom. Like, Jesus, what the hell's going on?
The funny thing is, do you ever seen where they're so big that that usually flies jump and fly?
Yeah.
Well, these things run like B-52 to get off the ground.
Like an albatross. That's a wild turkey has to get like
a couple
a
steps
run
going.
and start.
Where they'll stop on the wall, and then when they go to fly off the wall, they drop like a foot.
I like in October, they're just like so slow that they're not even making an effort to not get killed. So
I think
you ever just like if they're so big and slow because it's cold, and you just half-heartedly go to shoo it away, and you accidentally hit it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, holy shit! It's like they got to step on that fuck.
when I hit them, I try to kill them.
It's like, ooh.
Yeah, I give them if I can get them, I hit them hard. I don't even know where I was going with that, but anyhow.
Podcasting and trolling and
Yeah, I still don't know where I was going with it, but anyhow.
it'll come to you.
Let me go to my first story because we've talked about this before. Mr. Softy Truck disappears.
Oh, I posted this on, this is in my hometown this happened.
Really? It was
Yeah.
your guy?
Yeah, it wasn't my Mr. Softy guy, because we love my Mr. Softy. It was in the Blackwood section of Gloucester Township, near the college.
Black people.
That section.
No, there's no black people there.
Where, in Blackwood? It's the name of the town.
Oh, yeah, that's why they named the town that way. You just love to, like, chase that down, don't you?
Love it.
It's where the college is, the Blackwood section.
Yeah. Now, we've talked about this before. I have the
Lyrics?
I don't have. I forgot there was lyrics.
Yeah.
That's right.
I thought that's where you were going
It's
with.
the height of summer and very common to see and to hear Mr. Softy trucks in our neighborhood. But one Facebook user says his neighbor complained about the music and told Mr. Softy not to come back. Many ears perk up when this jingle rings in the summer.
I mean, every kid comes running out of their house when they hear that music.
Like the ringing sound.
What does it sound like?
Do-do-do.
But in South Jersey, Mr. Softy apparently disappeared from a neighborhood in Blackwood.
I thought that's ridiculous.
Sean McMahon says someone complained about the music and told Mr. Softy not to come back around the area, as explained in this Facebook post with over 200 comments.
I'm going to try to back it up because they flash this.
Somebody was complaining about the music.
I can't do it.
So Mr. Softy's not going to come down their street no more.
We went to the Mr. Softy headquarters in Runnymede. The vice president's family are third-generation owners working with owner-operators in over 20 states with more than 600 trucks.
Wow.
He says complaints about music happen from time to time.
If it's too late, if it's past 10 o'clock at night, then we're like, okay, that's way too late. It's waking people up. But sometimes it could be 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon where, oh, you're waking up my sleeping baby. Well, it's like, hey, well, there's 40 other kids in the neighborhood that are running around and want ice cream.
Ultimately, Mike Conway tells owner-operators to use their best judgment. And as a business, it's hard to please everyone.
We need to play the music to get people out, but when you're stopped, we want them to turn the music down, regardless of the time of the day.
Conway says drivers work long hours, ultimately hoping to bring smiles with their ice cream.
Mr. Softy to me is just a childhood memory. I think it's sad for the kids. I mean, again, it's a childhood memory. Kids are excited. It's summertime.
Yeah, I really couldn't imagine anybody complaining about that or annoying them.
Back to that neighborhood where Mr. Softy disappeared. Apparently,
They burnt his house down.
Well, they found out who the guy was, and it was John Chamingo.
Hey! I would never chase Mr. Softy Truck away.
Get off my lawn.
Now, hey, I told you the first time I moved into my house over where we were, my kids, the first time he came down the street, my kids went flying out of the house, and he saw we had 4 little kids, and he's like, shit, I'm coming by here every day. Every day he would crawl by, and the kids are scratching at the window.
He would push the truck past your house.
I don't remember if I said to him, I said, listen, we can only do this once a week. It's on Thursday or whatever day it was.
That's your day.
Mr. Softy Day. I said, stop crawling down the street. The kids are scratching at the window like a cat. Stop it.
Yeah, I had seen this story, and I said, there's always somebody that has to be a hard ass. You know, it's like, really? It's like.
And now they have a platform where they can go into Facebook.
Yeah.
And everybody has a community.
Twitter or TikTok.
Yeah, but Twitter is more national. Facebook, you can drill right down to your community. Mm-hmm. Are you part of a Facebook group for your community? I know I am for here.
No, actually, but to the town I grew up in, because that's where I grew up. So I guess I have some still loyalty left over for that.
Is that it? Or I thought there was more. I thought there was more going on. Wait a minute. Where's my pizza? He says it's on the way, delivered by Justin. Supposed to be here in just a couple seconds.
I guess I should stand attentive at the door since it's raining. I'll be back.
All right, hang on. He should be here. He hasn't delivered it yet. We're having pizza today, folks. Okay, hold on. Little break. Oh, you making another drink while you're up?
Damn right.
Damn right. I could use another one. Them kamikazes are good.
Fucking alcoholics.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I drink what, once a month?
No, I'm just kidding, man.
If Deuce did the show every week, I'd be drinking once a week.
Like I'm one to fucking talk. Well, you should tell Deuce to check out the Fine Whining podcast.
Oh, I will. You're on the list today to be read.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
The podcast shout outs are now going to be brought right up on the screen, Deuce. See, I'm a fixer. I see problems. I fix problems. That's what I do.
Except his weight.
You know something? Why do you always got to dig into the one thing?
It's I'm sorry, it's the easiest thing to go for.
You know, it's so funny. It's the only thing that you're still allowed to make fun of. It's the only person you're still allowed to objectify. You can't objectify a woman. You can't objectify black people or any kind of other, whatever they're called,
Yes, you can.
nationalities.
You just have to say it right.
Oh, no. If you
Italians
do,
are still on the list.
what's that?
Italians are still on that list.
You can make fun of Italians, I guess.
Italians, fat people.
Italians and fat people. Boy, if you're a fat, ugly Italian, you're fucked. See, I wasn't that far off. Man, look at him leap into action. Man of action, Deuce. He went right up the 2 steps at a time.
I was gonna make a stair climber joke, but I decided against it.
What am I, from Michigan? Of course I tipped him.
Hey, man.
We were talking about this the other day on another podcast, how people say, oh, I don't tip people. It's a big thing against tipping now.
Oh, they all know Bob?
Oh, Bob's not a tipper?
Dickhead.
Oh, Dickhead Bob. I forgot about Dickhead Bob. I forgot about Dickhead Bob.
Remember we got into that gigantic discussion about tipping because he's an asshole? He's an asshole.
My old girlfriend had a friend. His name was Bob. We called him Dickhead Bob.
Dickhead Bob.
Dickhead Bob. Sorry, Bob, not you. I had a friend, Dickhead Bob, and we would go to the restaurant, and he wouldn't tip. So then whatever meal we had, we would split the meal, and then I would have to pay the full tip. And I told my girlfriend, we're not going out to eat with them anymore. I'm not going anywhere. We got a tip.
But then he had the temerity to disparage waitresses, and my mom is a lifelong waitress. What a dick.
I don't know why you just didn't tip for whatever you guys split, because that's kind of dumb.
Because I'm not a dick. That's why. When you go out to
I
eat
understand that you're not a dick. It's just, if you guys are all splitting a bill and you're paying for what you and whoever you took ate, you should only tip on that, not for everyone else.
Being a grown-up is taking care of your servers. And if you got one asshole that's not going to take care of your server, then you got to take care of them. That's all.
I partially agree with you.
Right. Partially. How come you don't fully agree with me? What part of that statement?
Because it really depends on the service.
Yeah, they're a good service. He still doesn't. So when Dickhead Bob would
and
not
if he
tip,
didn't tip, then yeah, he's a cunt.
You know, I wonder if Dickhead Bob is still with. I wonder if he's. Jesus Christ, that was 26 years ago at
You had
least.
to stalk her Facebook page.
Yeah.
I remember the joke was the reason he's called Dickhead Bob is he's such a dickhead. He has a big blue vein running up his chest.
Whenever he got excited, he stiffened up. Dickhead Bob. God damn, them kamikazes are good.
And good for you.
Are they?
Well, citrus, vitamin C.
Citrus.
Packed with my vitamins and minerals. Damn it, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
He's rather healthy, unlike me.
That guy was happy when I came up the stairs like I did as he was standing there like a drowned rat getting...
I didn't realize it was raining.
Oh, it's pouring.
Man.
Holy shit.
He looked like he was
Yeah, he would have been
standing in
waiting like a
car
half
wash.
an hour if it was John.
Yeah, I'm coming. Guy's soaking wet.
He looked like he was standing in a car wash. That's how hard it's raining.
Although I'll have you know that I'm getting around a lot better now.
Yeah?
I am.
How much? How well? How much
I
you
have.
down?
I'm down 35 pounds.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's all right. It's a start.
You're losing more weight than fucking Vito.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and he's losing all that fucking money.
That's because of climate change.
That's probably what he would say.
I lose weight every day. I take a shit.
Duchess says that an extra dash of lime makes a difference. I think you're right.
I lost 130 pounds. All I had to do was keep podcasting.
It's the most efficient diet ever.
Oh, that was just what came out of my bank account.
Oh,
Have I had to stop and shit outside my house? No.
Can't do it now. You have no deck.
Well, just stand there and lean on the boards and just
look up at the trees like, oh, what's he looking at? And everyone will just look at the trees with you.
It's like a cat in the litter box. You ever see a cat shitting in a litter box? He's like looking around. It's like, hey, what are you looking at, asshole? Sorry. Didn't realize you're shitting.
Oh, what else would you be doing in the litter box? Cats don't hang out where they shit.
No.
They're not known for that.
You know where I haven't been in a while? The litter box. I think I'm going to go hang out there for a little bit.
I haven't seen that in a while.
This is the easiest show to record and process because all the audio is local.
yeah, local stuff is always easy.
Deuce's mic is set up. Everything was set up today. I come down this morning. I cleaned up the desk because my son sits there. So it's a fucking pigsty. Clean up all over there. Wipe everything down.
Where's that now?
Did he ever come down
Apparently, yes.
from his caffeine high?
John spiked his own son.
I didn't realize it had caffeine in it. That was I wouldn't have bought it if I thought it had caffeine in it. I didn't realize it.
They do that on a lot of food items. They hide that important information in very small print, like with caffeine. Like,
Right. So, Deuce, I don't know if you can see this. There's this little green stripe underneath Crystal Light.
Yeah, I wouldn't
in
see
there.
that.
It's got little tiny white letters that says with caffeine.
If I didn't have my reading glasses on, there was no way in hell I would see that. I would just think it's a decorative green stripe.
Right. Exactly. Apparently, John,
kind of pertinent information.
A little bit.
Would it not be easier just to make a picture of kamikazes?
It would be a lot easier, but I had no picture to sacrifice, so I have to buy a picture.
John, you don't have like a tapioca bucket.
Well, I wanted to surprise John today, so I didn't say anything about we're doing kamikazes.
He said,
today.
I got a surprise for you tomorrow. And I said, do I have to set up a third mic? And he said, no, nothing like that.
Oh, so he kamikazed you with kamikaze.
He kamikaze.
Bonsai.
What exactly is a kamikaze?
A kamikaze is 3 ingredients,
Japanese
all mixed in equal measure. It's vodka, triple sec, and lime juice. And you shake it in a shaker with ice, and then you pour it into a glass and garnish with lime. So, yes, they'd be incredibly easy to make as a pitcher.
Yeah, you don't just drink it out of the bottle.
And you watch the boxer briefs fall off.
Jesus.
I lived on kamikazes back in the day.
I liked them back in the day, too, until
Well, back when we were growing up, the popular drinks were kamikazes, Alabama Slammers, and Harvey Wallbangers. I don't think anybody drinks any of them anymore.
Sex on the Beach.
That was after that. That was
Really?
like kind of like mid 80s. That was like we were of legal age to drink, like late 80s and then the 90s.
Oh, you got to remember, I was legal age a little bit before you.
Yeah, you caught that boat.
Yeah, I got to 18. I was at 18. You had to wait till you were 21.
I couldn't even tell you the last time I even ever heard anybody order an Alabama Slammer or a Harvey Wallbanger.
Oh, yeah, Harvey board is cutting out, bud.
What's that?
Our board's cutting.
My brother was mad because right before he turned 18, they raised the age. He was so pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that gate.
Yeah, so did my friend.
In Jersey, you had to turn 19 before a certain date and you'd be able to drink. But if you didn't make that gate, you had to wait until 21, and that's the gate that I caught.
Yep. He was born in January of 66, so he barely missed it.
He went from 18 to 19, and then 19 to 21.
Right.
Yep.
My buddy...
Don't choke to death.
Yeah, you won't be able to get your arms around me to give me the Heimlich. Just
No.
lay me on the floor and jump it down on my...
Jump on your chest.
Yeah,
Do like a wrestling moves.
just drop the people's elbow on his chest, and it'll
There you
probably
go.
clear it.
My buddy Dave was born in January 18th, and the date was December 31st. And I was so I made 18, and all our friends did, and he was the youngest one, so he had to wait a whole nother year.
Jesus Christ, you were born on my anniversary. What?
It's all right. My girlfriend, my ex-wife, and my granddaughter are all born on the same date. Here's the thing about Deuce and his wife. They are a perfect match.
Right. Everybody's a perfect match at one point, but then they change. When you're in your 20s, you kind of find who you are a little bit.
First of all, Deuce was 27. His wife was 10 years older.
Right.
She had already been married, and she's divorced. But they were the perfect in yin and yang.
Mm-hmm.
She handled his quirky personality and his crazy sense of humor, and she laughed at it. And he wasn't bothered by the quirky personality, and I don't know about crazy sense of humor, but she has like a quirky personality she has. And they were like a perfect mesh.
Her quirky personality is she's perpetually pleasant. She's just like the most pleasant person I've ever met.
Yeah.
I have to really go out of my way to piss her off now.
I think that nowadays with the guys on computers, like you guys hang out on a computer and you game and you talk shit and you bullshit. Back when we were growing up, when we were that age, we would go to bars. We'd be out at bars.
Yeah,
and
you
stuff
guys
like
had shit to do.
Right. We went someplace where the women were like, they had in their mind, they're like, well, what's he doing? Like in their mind, they're like, there's some broad draped all over my husband, this hussy, and they're not there. But now they can see it sitting in there acting like a teenager. That's like a double-edged sword because, one, you're there and they can see what you're doing so they know you're not fucking around on them. But two, they realize that you have the maturity of a teenage boy. And sometimes that's not...
disagree with you.
Of course you do, because you're a teenage boy.
I'm not a teenage boy. I am 27 years old, and I'm a man.
Tell me why you disagree with me.
I take care of my bills. I don't waste money on stupid shit and video
games. Did you even
games.
listen to what the fuck I just said? I didn't say anything about taking care of your bills. I didn't say
Okay,
anything
so
about
what?
that.
Sitting here and playing video games, I
said-
have the mind of a
I
teenage
will
boy.
try this again. You know something? Men today are stupid too. I'll try this again. When you say you need alone time and you're going to hang out with your boys, you do it at home over the internet where they can actually see you, which is a twofold problem.
All right.
The good part about it is that they can see that you're not out
And
fucking
not
around with other women.
overthink and think I'm hanging out with some hussy.
Yeah. Well, the bad part about it is she can hear one side of the conversation where you sound like an idiot because you're saying shit that you say to your buddies when you're gaming, usually using the N-word a lot. Just kidding.
She doesn't give a fuck.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is that women, they want it like a mature man, and then they see a teenage boy sitting in there playing games with his
one
bros.
thing all women hate, if a woman sees you at home on a computer, she immediately thinks that you could be cutting the grass or painting a room. Because women hate to see men relax.
So
it's genetic. They
But
can't help
dude,
themselves.
they fucking do.
This is why I love this show. I can do this. I can do all of this.
Well, dude, times really are different.
The big question is, do you want kids? Does she want kids? Do you agree in mingling your finances, or do you labor under the misguided that always leads to disaster? What everyone that I know is like, you keep your money separate and I'll keep my money separate, and then we'll pool. Because that never works. I don't know anyone that's ever worked for.
The way I did it when I was married, I had a checking account. She had a checking account. We had a joint checking account.
And how did that end up?
Oh, divorced. But that's not why we got divorced. All right, and we've had something to fill our bellies with, and we had another. I'm halfway through my second kamikaze. All right,
Bonsai.
I gotta tell you, I am very, very entertained by O.J. Simpson.
Wow, he's not aging well at all.
How old is he now?
1 million.
Hold on, Alexa. How old is O.J. Simpson?
It's got to be 78.
O.J. Simpson is 76 years old.
Yeah,
good guess.
76. Okay. He is.
How old is Nicole Simpson? Nicole Simpson.
How old is
aging.
Nicole Simpson? Alexa, how old is Nicole Simpson?
Nicole Brown Simpson died on June 12, 1994, at the age of 35.
Okay, there you go.
So she's 35 forever.
She's 30. That woman just never ages.
Yeah, she looks good for her age, doesn't she?
So, it's
too soon.
If it wasn't, listen, if it wasn't for the fact that O.J. Simpson allegedly, I can't even say allegedly, he was acquitted. He was acquitted of stabbing, brutally murdering 2 people. I think he did it. But if it wasn't for him, he would be making money. He's a very charismatic, entertaining person.
Most sociopaths are.
Okay, so here he is.
Ted Bundy.
Here he is on Twitter. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, X-World, it's me, yours truly. Now, I know I went to college on a football scholarship, but somehow this math is not adding up to me. You're driving a car at roughly 160 miles an hour on a public street and end up killing a girl and her dog, and you get 3 to 10 years. You go to a hotel room that you're invited to retrieve your own personal stolen property I now have because it was ruled to be mine by the state of California. And you get 9 to 33 years. Same courthouse, same city, same state. I don't know. Somehow it just does not add up to me. I'm just saying.
Wait a minute. Didn't he go to that place brandishing handguns and threatening to kill people?
Told people nobody's leaving.
That might have something to do with why you got that much time.
Juice. It also might have been the fact that you got off with brutally killing 2 people.
Once you get away with double homicide, nothing really should faze you, I guess.
It, to me, is amazing how he's like, that's a bad take. Normally,
how many? I don't know how to read this. How many followers does he have? Is that 3.5 million, is that the views or is that how many followers he has?
All right, so the 3.5 million. Whoops.
Hey, X-World, it's me,
All
yours
right,
truly.
we got it there.
Yours truly, the murderer.
3.5 million views. That's what he has on this.
Okay.
8,902 likes, 4,290 retweets. All right, and also 1,946 replies. Hang on, let's see something here. Let's see what the replies say. Might have to do with the fact that might have to do with the fact of killing your wife prior. Call me crazy. Thanks for taking a stab at that explaining juice. Literally thought he already passed away a long time ago. OJ, have you considered selling feet pics? The glove didn't fit, but the socks might. Math? Not mathing, my G. Yeah, again, the comments are amazing.
Usually that's the best part. You know, Joe told me he came over to the house on Sunday to see the baby. And then, the baby went to bed and we were in the backyard having a couple of cocktails. And he said, Joe must be bored. So he started a Fox News account just so that he could comment on the stories.
Oh, no.
So now Joe is like a killer troll. So he just goes in there and he just puts these 2 or 3 word comments just to piss off liberals that are in there to troll anyway. So Joe is trolling the trolling liberals that are in the Fox News thing.
He should start a YouTube stream.
So I said, "Oh, what's your name?" And he told me, I forget what it was. He told me what it was. I said, "Oh, I'd have to go look for it now." So just to check it out.
Yeah. So the Juices couldn't understand the fact that I don't even know what he's talking about. Apparently, some lady ran over.
It must be a local story, I guess.
It was going 160 mile an hour.
Well, didn't one of the Philadelphia Eagles kill somebody and he got absolutely no time?
Yeah,
that was a few years ago.
Well, there was one player that was just acquitted on charges of something.
Yeah, I'm going back about, I don't know, in the last 10 years. Somebody
I know who you're talking about
killed
now.
somebody in a car and he got no time. It's the same thing that the Juice was talking about. Speeding, crashed into someone, killed them, and got away with it. And I'm going, it's like I said, it happened probably within the last 10 or 11 years, I think.
I just see this. I don't like this. Eagles rookie Jalen Carter, George, Athletics sued by, that's right. Jalen Carter was in a car crash that killed a Georgia offensive lineman, Devin Willock. And the staffer has sued the school's athletic association. Okay, that's not it. Jerome Brown was killed in a car accident.
He got killed in a Corvette.
He did get killed in a Corvette.
He went airborne.
Yes, he did.
He tried to sue Chevrolet for that. That went nowhere.
Oh, he didn't. He did. I can't think of who it was. An Eagle player. I can't think of who it was.
Yeah, it was quite a while ago.
Yeah, it was quite a while ago.
And there was an incredible amount of anger because, he got off, basically.
I figured if I scroll down here a little bit, it would be, but I can't. I guess it doesn't matter. But yeah, you're right. Somebody was in a car crash. Somebody was killed, and he barely got any kind of time. He might have got probation. Stallworth, that's the guy's name. Dante Stallworth began serving a 30-day jail sentence Tuesday for killing a pedestrian while driving drunk in Florida.
Yeah. Now, what year was that?
Whoa. Hang on. Let's see. Well, this was June 17th, 2009.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was a while ago. It was longer than 10 or 11 years ago.
Do you know who Craig Robinson is?
No.
He was killed yesterday in an FBI raid because he was threatening the president of the United States. And apparently the FBI went over there. I have a feeling that this guy brandished a gun and they took him out.
Or they'll say that he did.
Yeah.
It could be like another Ruby Ridge thing with Randy, what was his, Weaver was his name?
Yeah. I keep trying to say Randy Quaid, but it's not him. So, again, this is the picture of the gentleman. He's always armed to the teeth. Likes taking pictures in his armor with his guns. Got his
ghillie suit.
Ghillie suit. See, you know what a ghillie suit is.
Nice.
The FBI was outside of his house.
Hey, it looks like it's in the middle of a cul-de-sac.
Somebody parked in front of his driveway. Just kidding. That's an Eric Zane joke. Someone parked in front of his driveway, so the police or the FBI had showed up, And apparently, as I'm seeing at the pictures, there is the front window shot out, it looks like. A 39-page complaint, including numerous unhinged Facebook posts made by Robinson threatening to assassinate Biden and other senior Democrats, including Harris, Bragg, New York Attorney General Letitia James, and U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland. Oh, and Gavin Newsom.
Who the fuck names their kid Gavin?
Apparently the Newsoms.
Apparently Nancy Pelosi's family.
This is the one statement he said. I hear Biden's coming to Utah. I have a wonderful dream. I dreamt I was in a dark corner of a Washington, D.C. parking garage. I was standing over the body of a U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland with a bullet hole dead center in his forehead. In my hand was my suppressed Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm, smoke wafting from the muzzle. The Star-Spangled Banner playing quietly in the distance. I thought to myself, what an amazing patriotic moment, as shivers of liberty and freedom swelled my heart for the amazing great country. Now, this guy here, you cannot go on social media and spew this kind of stuff and not expect that law enforcement's going to show up at your house. So I wake up this morning and I'm checking Twitter, as I do, or X. You know what? It's Twitter. Fuck them. So now we have all these things on X. Kathy Griffin posted a bloody severed head of President Trump. Bette Midler threatened President Trump by suggesting somebody give him the shiv. Snoop Dogg made a video of assassinating Trump. Rosie O'Donnell threatened to push Trump off a cliff again. Larry Wilmore demanded someone get me a pillow they used to kill Supreme Court Justice Scalia to kill Trump. Trump's DMs are flooded with direct threats against his life. The DOJ, FBI are so compromised they never prosecute nor will ever raid the fuck out of left-wing fascist extremists and domestic terrorists who deserve harsh prison sentences. Now, I remember when Madonna was at that rally and said that they should blow up the White House. Mm-hmm. She did get a visit from the Secret Service.
Yeah.
And I think Kathy Griffin also got a visit from the Secret Service. And I also know that if you make direct threats on social media of killing a government official, you will also receive a visit from a law enforcement agency. Nobody is more upset about the way things are going and the way the administration is run than I am. And I can't wait to vote against this guy. It's my stupid phone. I try to turn off the ringer. I can't turn off the ringer.
Don't know how it works.
No, I know how it works. I turn it off. It's every once in a while. There must be something set that when this thing happens,
back to life.
It comes back to life. But there's a way to do this. Who? All right, hang on.
Who?
There.
Who the fuck would ride your bicycle up here? Who?
I'll tell that story. So we used to go to this place. It was called the Grand Canyon of Pennsylvania. And it's just big, long drive up to the top of this mountain that you go to.
Tioga County.
So we get up there, and there's a bunch of bikes. So I get out, and I'm walking around. I go, who the fuck would ride a bike up
this
here?
was after you hiked up the side of the trail, as enumerated in a previous podcast where Don and I walked up the trail. You decided to blaze up sideways. And when you got to the top, you saw the bicycle racks with such a look of disdain and misery in your face. Who the fuck would ride a bicycle all the way up here, huh? Who? He's waiting for an answer. It's the middle of January. No one there.
Yeah, just ride a bike up there, assholes.
Go there in July. It's probably full of bicycles.
So this takes me into, I guess, we've been talking a while. I guess I can broach this subject with you because I really need an answer. How is it that they can get away with charging Trump with all these offenses? Meanwhile, all this information is coming out about Biden, Hunter Biden, taking bribes, doing quid pro quos, and the media and everybody else doesn't say nothing. I was listening to a right-leaning podcast the other day, and they said, well, it's August and there's nothing to talk about. And I'm like, nothing to talk about? You want to talk about Trump being indicted and that's all over with, but you can't sit there and tell me your thoughts on what's going on with Biden. You won't even address it. Listen, I'm a reasonable guy. Give me a reason why this guy's son's running around picking up bags of cash and it's not a crime. I don't know. Maybe in Washington, you're allowed to peddle influence like this. Maybe that's what they all do.
Well, because they run everything. The left runs everything. Name an institution and they run it. Education systems, they run it. The media, they run it. The news, they run it. The colleges, they run it.
Okay.
The only thing that we used to have was sports and the military, and they've made inroads on that with the Rachel Levine.
Okay.
Gay! Admiral Rachel Levine now.
Right. But I mean, is she gay? We don't know.
Well, you put on a dress.
It doesn't make you gay.
Does it?
No.
Doesn't? Okay.
Hey, look at
Are you walking around in a dress?
Of course not.
You know why?
Yeah, because
you're not gay.
Also, I look horrible in a dress. All right. So, listen, Leah Thomas, the transgender, is a lesbian, has a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make you gay. Well, I guess in a way it does make. If you say you're a trans woman, I guess it does make you gay.
You need a scorecard to keep
That's
track.
a little tough on that one.
Yeah. You just well, but that's why you ask why this doesn't happen. It's because they run everything and they're not hiding it. They don't. They're just so blatant about it now because they know nothing will get done. And those of us that have jobs, you know, meaning not leftists, because that they have nothing but time on their hands because the vast bulk of them don't work because they always have time to protest and fire up their bots, and troll people and their advertisers. So they also have incredible amounts of time on their hands, which suggests to me that they're unemployed.
Or this means more to them than what it does to people that are on the right. So in other words...
Yeah, because all the people to the right are keeping their lights on at home because they're working.
Well, you say that, but Joe just made an account to go in there and troll people on news sites.
Yeah, you troll people.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's not. I don't think it's because they don't have.
All right. So Joe's doing that. How many minutes out of his day is that taken?
Now, all of a sudden, you've switched your argument.
No,
I like this.
He's not at a protest. He's not at rallies. He's not going to Arizona to take part in a march that all these people do. Like George Soros funded groups that they're paying for. So these people are basically, that's their vocation. They don't work.
Yeah, but in 2020...
They put the perception out that there's millions more than there really are, but they're really not.
I don't know. In 2019 and 2020, there was a shit ton of Trump rallies, especially like around here. I remember they had that boat where they took all the boats and they came down here to West Everett. They went to that cove.
And when was that?
It was like right before the election.
What day of the week? Was it a Saturday or Sunday when most people are off?
It was.
Thanks for making my argument, John.
No, it was a Saturday, but I was trying to, I don't think it's laziness. I just think they don't care, number one.
Now, all these major protests that these asshats stage are always Monday through Friday. Why? Because they don't work.
I guess.
They are bums, as Jackie Gleason would say in The Honeymooners.
So,
can you vouch for the characters? Can you vote for the applicant's character? Applicant is a bum.
I just don't understand how it's going to change. Like, what can the Republican Party do to change any of this? I see them trying. I listen to conservative, and I also, I fight through 2 or 3 podcasts that are right-leaning because I just want to hear the other side. I'm like, you know what? Maybe they have something I'm not thinking about. It's tough. Don't get me wrong. It's tough. The podcast I listen to from the right, one of it's called Breaking Points, and it cracks me up because they say it's supposed to be neutral because one's a progressive Democrat and the other one is supposed to be a Republican, and he's such a squishy rhino. It's ridiculous. I don't know how they can change this. I see all kinds of evidence coming out, and the conservative media is talking about it, but it's not getting any traction.
Talking about what? Specifically,
the stuff with Biden, with all this shit going on with Hunter Biden, the $10 million that...
Right, it's all coming to light now. There's probably more in the pipeline that's coming down the line.
Yeah, we all knew this back when it happened. Back when they impeached Trump for the very first time, they played that video of where Biden said, I told them they weren't getting this $1 billion unless they fired the prosecutor, and I'm leaving in 6 hours. That son of a bitch Guess what? He was fired.
Yeah.
That's quid pro quo. That's the definition of quid pro quo. And they're like,
Yeah.
no, it's not.
No, because they're the gatekeepers. They control the news and what goes out. And
I think that
they surround the wagons around their boys. That's what the media will do.
JFK Jr. had a speech the other day. I played it on last night on the Boomer Bunker, where he was sitting there and said, tell me what time governments took freedoms away and then gave them back. Never. I think they're right. I mean, we just keep losing more and more freedoms.
Well, the vast bulk of the public don't care.
I don't want Trump to run. I want him to get out of the race, but I don't think he can.
With a 50-point lead, why would he?
Because he's going to lose the general election.
You didn't think he was going to win in 2016. You could be wrong again.
Okay, you say that. But now he has a record to run on, and now he's been in the public eye as a politician now for basically 8 years. And
okay, well,
go ahead.
You say he has a record to run on. His record was great.
Right up till the end.
Yeah, right up until the end, because then Biden got in and undid everything that he did.
Understand that.
You know, gas was cheaper. You know, we had real growth in our salaries. He brought China to its knees with the tariff. I think that's why COVID came along. That was a get even. Every measurable metric that you can put Trump versus Biden, Trump has his record's way better. But people have, apparently, I guess nowadays you're saying people like high gas prices, double the food prices, insurance, issues that are going on.
They hate it. The only problem is they hate Trump more. They'll never vote for him. This is my humble opinion.
Well, of course they hate Trump because he's a monkey wrench in the works. He doesn't play ball.
I understand why Washington hates him. I don't understand why the population hates him. Well, I kind of sort of do.
Generally, the population don't like New Yorkers.
Okay.
He's a New Yorker.
Right.
The last job that I had, I worked with a bunch of New Yorkers. And they weren't all like that, but I'll tell you what, about 98% of them were. And that's just how New Yorkers are. I have that unique insight because I work for that company. So I got Trump when he started running. Okay, that's just the way New Yorkers are. And let's face it, the vast bulk of the world hates New York, of the country hates New Yorkers. They hate New York media. They hate New York. They just hate New Yorkers.
All right, so let me ask you this question. If it was Deuce's choice, who would run for the Republicans in 2024?
Well, fortunately, I don't have that power. It's up to the people.
Can you just roll with me here?
No.
Let me just give you this power. Or can I ask it a different way? Who would you vote for?
I like DeSantis.
Okay.
Yeah. I like Trump also. I like what Trump did. Trump governed way more conservatively than I thought he was going to.
All right, I understand that.
Yeah. He got all those judges appointed. That was a great legacy. They've just been like knocking it out of the park with their decisions ever since. So much so that the left is threatening to pack the Supreme Court again, and no one's talking about that.
No, I know that. But they didn't. They've had all this time, and they could have. They had 2 years to do it, and they didn't.
Well, after the last couple that came down the pike, they're talking about it again because now you have that nitwit Hirono, Senator Hirono from Hawaii. She's trying to invoke senatorial control over another branch of the government, and she's like one of the not the brightest bulb in the box.
Well, of course not.
Senators that that party has. They're all like they just have like a bunch of nudniks.
Well,
Kamala Harris was one of them. Now she's VP.
So here's my story about that is she'd immediately have to go back and take a civics course. Because the thing about the judicial, the executive,
three branches of government,
checks and balances. So if you have oversight over one, that's not a check anymore. They can't check you anymore.
Yeah, they want to invoke ethics. And basically when they say they want to invoke a code of ethics, you know that the code of ethics will only be put in against Clarence Thomas and Gorsuch and all the other anyone that was picked by a Republican president. They'll be the ones that will be forced to recuse themselves. But nitwits like Brown and Sotomayor and any other nitwit, those were the two stupidest Supreme Court picks that are both judicially and academically. I mean, they were like the worst. But that was Obama's pick and it was Joe Biden's pick. And
no, I get that. The reason I say
the Republicans don't bork their opponents' judges like the Democrats do.
And then the other check and balance was the mainstream media. The news media was supposed to be watching everybody, watching, they're supposed to say, hey, we found this out. You saying one thing, but here are the facts. What do you say about this? And it's very obvious that they attack one side and not the other.
Well, the left will invoke whataboutism.
Of course. I think the right's doing it now, too.
Well, because they're finally getting smart. And if not for Donald Trump, they didn't realize that they could do this. And Youngkin and DeSantis, like, you can go and wield political power against them. But they don't like that. They liked it better when the Republicans are, well, that makes us no better than the left. We have to stand by our principles and lose with dignity. And finally, you got like Trump said, you know what, fuck losing. Do the same thing that they've been doing for 70 years, and they don't like it.
I understand that. One of the things that makes me nervous about Trump is for some reason, I don't think he'll be able to run a campaign where he can win. I really don't think, and we can't afford another 4 years.
Yeah, 2 years out.
It's 2 years out, but I don't see him doing that. Also, I see him taking all that money and fighting all these lawsuits.
Nobody pays attention to the campaign until historically and traditionally until about, hey, it's September the 30th. I guess I better brush up on what's going on in the election.
I'm really nervous about this. I think...
You're always nervous.
I know. I think that anybody but Trump has a better chance of beating Biden because they can run on their records. I don't think Trump can run on his record.
I think he can.
But I don't think
his record's much better. You're conflating his record with all the bad indictments that they're throwing their way, which will not stand up to any serious court's political scrutiny or judicial scrutiny.
Listen, I understand he can, but he won't because I've been watching his rallies. And all he does is go up there and talk about how he's being indicted, how it's not fair, and how the election was stolen, and all that other shit. He's not turning the tides.
So you're not allowed to question it?
Sure you are.
Okay.
But when you focus
how many years in is Biden in his term?
Three.
Okay.
Two or three. So 2.5.
Yeah, it's coming up on 2.5. He took office in January of 21.
Oh, nobody's fucked the country up faster than Joe Biden has.
And he's got another year and a half to fuck up even more.
Absolutely.
So how much grist for the mill will Trump have at that time? If he's the nominee, anything could happen.
I understand that, but he's not. He's not doing it. He's putting all the focus.
There's no need to.
It's all about him. This is what I'm saying. It's all about him.
Of course it's all about him right now because he's looking to clear the field of his primary opponents. Don't you get it?
I get what he's doing. I don't approve of it, and I don't think it's good.
After the primary, after he clears the field, if he's the nominee, that's when you go against Biden.
Well, we'll see, because I don't see that happening. I really don't.
He's not even debating because he doesn't need to.
That's another thing. That's a puss move. If you're big bad Donald Trump and you're the candidate, you should get up there and mix it up with everybody else. He doesn't do that because I think there's candidates up there that would make him look foolish. I'm not talking about Chris Christie. He's just up there to take Trump out. He's just out there trying to throw body shots at Trump just to loosen him up. And
would you do that?
Yes. Of course I would.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would. I would definitely. I'd wade in there like Leroy Jenkins. I would go in there
and
I'd say, here I am, take your shots.
I don't know. It's his campaign.
You asked me. I said I would. I would.
It's his campaign. Right. And what would be the upside of that? Are you more likely to get more supporters or have your support fall away?
I'm running on how I'm going to run the country. If I'm afraid, no. You asked the question. Right. Let me answer it. Even if it's wrong, Deuce. Let me answer the question. Even if it's wrong in your eyes. If I'm going to run the country, I got to be able to stand up not only to the other side, but to my own side. Mm-hmm. So if they have questions about what I did, I have to go up there and defend what I did and why I did it and how I did it. That's me. I don't back down. I personally would do that. Now, should he do it? I think it's a weak move.
Right. You said you would do that. Mm-hmm. So I asked you, what is more likely to happen? Are you going to get an uptick in support of 3 or 4 points? Or are you more likely to lose probably double that amount in your support?
Okay, so I'm up how many points now? 30?
However, depending on the poll you listen to.
Let's go crazy. I'm up 25 points.
I think Trump's up even 40 points.
He probably is, but I'm going to say 25. And I go and I lose 10. I'm still up 15. Okay. But I did not back down and I did not push out.
But now you've opened up the door. Now you've got chinks in your armor. And that's where the rest of the attacks come at. And now they've got 2 years to drag you down. There's no upside to Trump. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. But you got to be a strategician
The only one I see attacking Trump is Christie.
Well, Nikki Haley was his UN ambassador.
Right.
So
and
she's going to probably keep her head down because she's thinking she's got a shot at being the VP pick.
Right. Pence is
Pence is deadwood. He's Chris Christie.
He's deadwood too.
Well, I think he knows that he hasn't got a shot. He's just hoping that whoever gets in, if they do beat Joe Biden, if it's not Trump, that he'll get the AG nod.
You're probably right.
And he would be an outstanding AG. He was a great attorney general.
Okay.
Yeah. He's just as bad as Trump and as Obama were as far as being narcissist.
Okay, I agree with you there. So here's my thing. And again, so my candidate is Vivek Ramaswamy because he's a fighter. He goes into liberal, he goes to CNN, he'll go anywhere. He went on a black morning radio station where they had one of the black women there kind of attack him, and he stood his ground, and he was respectful, and he got his points across. He went to that one right-leaning podcast I listened to, Counterpoints, and he sat there with their progressive socialist host who took him on, and he held his ground there. To me, he has a plan. I don't know if Trump has a plan.
That's the difference between having no record to run on and being a known entity. No one knows who Vivek is at this time. They just know that he's a guy that's running for president, but they don't know anything about him.
He can't seem to get any traction, which makes me nervous.
Because he doesn't have name recognition yet. He's working
going
on
everywhere. He's going everywhere. He's talking to everybody.
But that's just it. So it's like, do you want to take a chance on someone you don't know?
Yes.
Or do you want to take a chance on someone you do know?
We did it in 2016 with Trump.
Well, they knew what Trump was in the sense that he was a businessman. No one really even though Vivek is a businessman, no one really knows what he did or what he created.
Oh, he's creating
The most I know about him before he ran, was that he went to Yale with Michael Knowles at the Daily Wire.
Okay, so
and Michael Knowles was talking to him up and says, don't count this guy out. He's pretty formidable.
The other thing is right now he's running a counter economy for BlackRock and Vanguard. Like, in other words, he has another competition where he's against this ESG, and all this other shit that's going on, which to me, DEI, to me, which is what's real basically going to take the whole world into communism, because now we forget about the politicians, forget about government. We got to fight the corporations. That's where the battle's at, in the corporations.
Well, the government's one party specifically is using the government to have companies do the work that they can't do constitutionally, like, suppress free speech.
Yeah, Twitter does that. So,
the old Twitter.
All right, so I have this thing here. I don't know how much I'm going to play.
We're just going to talk about politics.
I just wanted. I wanted to get into this ES.
Isn't the boomer twice a week enough for you?
Listen, you can always bring a topic in we can talk about.
This is why everyone hates Jamingo.
This is why. Okay. Because I just wanted to get your point across. This is where we talk.
I don't care.
You don't care. You don't care about who runs the country.
Well, not on this podcast, I don't. On this podcast, I just want to drink alcohol, eat pizza, and bullshit.
Okay. Well, we are bullshitting. All right, so let me just play this the beginning of this thing with Ben Shapiro. He has a new show out. I don't know if it's on anywhere else but the Daily Wire, but it's episode 1 of his new podcast called Facts. And this is a video.
If it's on YouTube, it's 3 minutes long, right?
It's on YouTube. It's 9 minutes.
No, but I mean, if you watch the Daily Wire version and you watch the YouTube version, it probably goes from, like, say, 20 minutes on the Daily Wire to 3 minutes on YouTube.
Probably.
There's a group of people who control what you are allowed to see. The news you read, the videos you watch, the posts you engage with. You haven't heard of them. You don't know their names. But they determine through methods both direct and indirect whether you are allowed to be exposed to particular messages. Their decisions can bankrupt companies, silence voices, and fundamentally shift cultural norms. Who are these people and how do they do this? Well, at the top level, you have a network of global elites that has created a universal framework full of guidelines and ratings designed to enforce approved narratives and punish disapproved ones. It sounds like a conspiracy theory, except it isn't a secret and we're not guessing.
No matter what Ben Shapiro does, he can't look cool. He's trying to grow the beard. He's sitting here with his glasses on. He's got this whole...
First, you have the World Economic Forum, WEF, and their platform for shaping the future of media, entertainment, and culture. Second, you have the World Federation of Advertisers, WFA, who represent mega corporations that control 90% of global advertising dollars. WFA members are a who's who of global business and include some of our recent wokeified favorites, like Bud Light's parent company, AB InBev, Hershey, Procter & Gamble, Lego, and Disney. There is barely a billionaire Fortune 500 CEO, heavyweight philanthropist, government, or woke nonprofit that isn't associated with the WEF or the WFA. In 2019, the WFA established the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, or GARM. Within months, the WEF adopted GARM as part of its platform for shaping the future of media, entertainment, and culture. GARM is a cross-industry alliance that brings these mega corporations, the advertisers, together with big tech companies like Meta, who owns Facebook and Instagram, Google owned YouTube, the CCP's TikTok, and even Snapchat and Pinterest. This unholy alliance created something they call the Brand Safety Floor and Suitability Framework.
All right, so I play that to bring into this. As someone that has the values that you have, and I have the values that I have, how do you fight this? Or what do? You can't, like for me, I basically stopped watching network TV. I can't stand every TV show, every movie. They just jam this
cock down your throat.
Cock down this woke cock down my throat. Do you think we'll ever get this parallel economy where people will go back to doing comedy shows where you can actually do comedy and make jest of stereotypes, and you can't just make fun of fat people and Italians, but that you can go back and joke around with every stereotype? We have created a whole army, your basic social justice warriors that are out there looking, can't wait to find something that they can jump on so that they feel like they've done something. And as I watch this thing, I watched the whole thing, and it's 9 minutes. It's on Twitter. I would say I'd put it in the show notes, but I won't.
You won't.
Yeah. It's if you go to Ben Shapiro's Twitter, you'll be able to see this. It's 9 minutes. It's actually really good how he goes through and explains how all this works and how this trickles down to what we see, what we hear, and how it influences everybody. I can't believe how many people you talk to, and you'll talk to them about a topic, and then they'll just float out what they've heard in the media, even though it's been proven not to be that way. Same way now that COVID's coming back, and everybody's like,
must be an election.
I just went to the doctor's the other day. First time I ever saw my doctor without a mask on. Didn't even know what he looked like because I started seeing him right before COVID, and we had to wear masks. And now you go to the doctor's office, you don't have to wear masks. So here we go again with this COVID thing.
See, my doctor's been that way for going on a couple of years.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Unless you were sick, which made sense because if you're sick, put a fucking mask on. Yeah. But yeah.
I guess my question is, how do you fight back?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But I think it's, in a sense, it's hopeless because you have so many people that won't give up. They'll never give up walking around with this in their hand or in their pocket.
What was that? Oh, the phone.
Yeah. Because people are, they sell all this stuff as convenience. That's why you have like the war on cash going. So now, like, for example, I went to a store today and I bought food and it came up to $21 and I pulled out a $20 and a $1 bill and everyone behind me in line went, So they had, so it was $21. It was 20 and some change. I gave them 21 and I got some change back, and that transaction took 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And you think I was busting out an old checkbook like the old ladies at the supermarket did,
It was like being in a supermarket.
Because this is what they do. They sell, this is how they successfully sold people with this nonsense. It's convenience. They sold it on convenience. Oh, don't go to the post office and get a stamp and an envelope. Just pay online on your own account. Go to the stadium and you go that. I went to the Phillies game last year. I would like to organize a movement because I don't even know how this is legal. I don't even know how this is even legal that you can do this, and it's not the only place that's doing it. We went to the Phillies game last year on Father's Day. I went up to the snack bar, the restaurant kiosk, one of them, ordered food for me, Diane, Joe, drinks. It's $40, whatever. I open up my wallet. We don't take cash. I'm like, you don't take cash. Nope, it's credit only. So what was I going to do? So I had to whip out my credit card, and I had to charge it. So I think that what should happen is you get 10,000 people all go to the Phillies game one day and you flood every fucking kiosk in there and you order a fucking shitload of fucking food. And then when they tell you, oh, that's $80, everyone reaches in for their cash. Oh, we don't take cash. Sorry, that's all I got. And walk away. Make them eat that fucking food. You know, and they're not the only place doing it. But my point is, this is how they sell this shit on convenience, because now they've made it, if you pay in cash, you're not cool. You're not hot, hip, and happening. You're an impediment. And they do this on everything. They make everything has to be run through that fucking phone. And that's how Garm and Wef and everyone, they've got that control because they know what you're doing and they know what your habits, they know what your habits are. Yeah, you got to break that, but no one's willing to do it.
I guess I'm part of the problem. I didn't realize when you're talking about this, I'm part of the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's part of the problem.
How much money you have in your wallet now? Do you have $100 in your wallet or less?
I got 180, 190 in my. I walk around with cash constantly. I'm an impediment. I'm an old fuddy-duddy.
You know how much cash I have in my wallet right now?
Bumpkiss. Yeah.
Nothing.
You got dick.
I got dick and bubble gum, and they're all out of bubble gum. I haven't had money in my wallet probably 6 months.
Yeah.
So
they got you.
I guess I'm the problem.
They got you.
Today, you came down, you brought alcohol, I ordered pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered off the web.
Mm-hmm.
I pay with a credit card.
Right.
Put the tip on, deliver it. You run up the steps, pick it up, bring it down. Groceries. Order it online, pay for it online, pull up outside. They bring them all out and put them in my truck, and I bring them home. I am all over this convenience. How often do you use Amazon?
Very infrequently. Only when I absolutely need to get something and I can't find it at Lowe's or Home Depot or Target. Sears is out of business now, so it's like I can't go there anymore. So there's another point. Amazon drove a lot of people out of business. They're gone. They're not coming back. The business that I was into, you know, not that you smoked or anything, but look at all those stores that are around. And you go in there, and who's in there working? The lonely owner. He's in there like the Maytag fucking repairman because nobody's going in there, not like they used to back in the day.
Right.
So you can't afford to pay people to stand around and do nothing.
So you have to do it all yourself.
So you're there all hours of the fucking day, you know, hoping against hope that someone's going to come in and actually walk in with fucking cash. You know, that's the other little scam that's going on. Like, I'm going to use I'm using my bank card. I'm going to use my debit card. It doesn't cost me anything extra. No, but it's costing the store owner 2 to 4%. People don't realize that. And you know what? They don't fucking care. It's all about me and my needs. Yay. But the fucking store owner is in there buying this shit in, freighting it in, carrying insurance, carrying an overhead. And then he's got to charge 2% on that pretzel and coffee that you don't have any fucking cash for, you know, to like buy it. You don't have $1.80 in your fucking pocket to pay for a fucking coffee and a soft pretzel. And now he's got to charge 2% on that. And people want to scream anarchy. Oh, fuck that guy. I'll never go see that guy again. I'll go somewhere else. It's never one thing. Like I always say, it's never one single thing. It's a confluence of events that dovetail together to make this happen.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Because I am the king. I'm Captain Comfort.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think a lot of it is because, like, if I go out somewhere, I'm constantly worried about being on a fucking website, picture of me on the website or something like that. Like, because I'm overweight and, you know, they love to take pictures of overweight people, put it up on the internet and laugh at them. Some fat people go out there and they cry and say, oh, you know, you should. I'm like, I understand it. I get it. Don't take pictures.
Yeah.
You don't think the people know what they're doing?
That's a whole other discussion.
I know. It is another discussion.
It plays right into the thing. Like, because some fucking genius decided, like, oh, cell phones became affordable. All right, I would say that was a good thing. More people could have a cell phone. But somewhere in the midst of time, some fucking genius decided that we need to take pictures, you know, with our fucking phones, you know.
It's true.
Why? Here's a story I just told in the break room yesterday.
In the break room. Once again,
our good friend Larry, I gave Larry a job, and all Larry had to do was ring the cash register, ring the lottery machine, and that was it. So this was about 1997. Cell phones are getting affordable. More people can have them. So Larry's in the middle of ringing up a customer, and his ass starts ringing. And he stops what he's doing, and he reaches into his pocket, pulls out his flip phone, extends the antenna, because that's all cell phones did back then, is they were just fucking phones.
Right.
And he's taking the fucking phone call. I'm dumbfounded. The person that he's waiting on is dumbfounded. He stopped what he was doing. He's stopping his job to talk on the fucking phone. And he got done and said, Larry, don't do that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I says, yeah, you just put that back. You wait on the customer. That's your focus. That's your focus. That's what you're getting paid for. Now what a lot of these asshole young people do, and I'm going back 27 years, so now we're a generation and a half in on this. So we're fucking doomed. It's too late now. They all say, well, I have it in case of an emergency. I ask you now, in your lifetime, how many legitimate emergencies have you had that you had to take that phone call and drop what you were doing and go home right away? I mean, I would say for me, 1, and I'm 59. Now, let's extrapolate on that. Now, back then, all they did was take fucking phone calls. You don't go to retail stores. As you said, you order everything in. Mm-hmm. It's a fucking travesty out there because now you're in there. Now we got social media. So now they can sit there and half-assly wait on you, indifferent and uncaring about what your cares and needs are. And they're TikToking and they're Twittering or Xing, whatever it's called now, and they're Facebooking and they're Instagramming, and if you have the temerity to say, hey, do you mind putting that back? You are a son of a bitch because you expect them to serve you, the customer. So we're fucking doomed. We're fucking doomed as a society as far as I'm concerned because no one's going to give up their fucking phones.
The other day I go to Dunkin' Donuts. I think it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I want to get an iced tea. So I pull up, I order an iced tea, and I used to get mad or annoyed.
Now you accepted it.
Well, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. I used to get annoyed when I would pull up and they'd go, can I be helping you? And I'm like, oh, they're going to, hello, very much, would like to be helping you. Right. So normally you pull up and they'd fuck your order up. And I'd say, God damn it, I wish I could get it somebody that's from this country.
I am from this country. How do I use the Spanish?
So now I pull up. You can turn that off because we're done with that part.
We're done with that concentrate. You can't concentrate.
It just don't make sense for what I'm about ready to say.
Okay.
So then I pull up and you hear, hello? And I go, hi, I'd like to order. Now I'm confused. Can I order an iced tea? Yeah. So all right, let's go with this. So I said, hey, can I order, a large unsweetened iced tea? Yes. Okay. So I pull around. As I pull around, I have a truck so I can see in. This fucking girl is sitting there. She can't be no more than 19 years old. She's making the iced tea with one hand. Why?
Because she's got her fucking
phone is in the other hand.
Yeah, right.
She put the cup, got the ice. She can't use the scoop. Why? Phone's in her hand. So she scoops the ice into the cup. She pulls it. She actually had to put the phone down to put the sweetener in. Mm-hmm. She puts the sweetener in. She stirs it up, and she comes over. She's still got a phone in her hand, and she puts. And I'm like, I want to say to her, if you worked for me, I'd fire you. Mm-hmm. Put that phone away. You can't work with one hand. I can't tell you how many times I see people, even my kids, be coming over here doing something. I said, put your phone in your pocket. Mm-hmm. That God gave you two hands, one's not for the phone. But I'm afraid to say something because if I come back again, they'll spit my iced tea.
Yeah, because they beat you into submission. Now everyone just accepts it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just all right.
Yeah. How many times have you seen somebody? The other day they had that Montgomery fight in Montgomery, Alabama on the dock. They had this big.
I only just heard about that this morning. I'm not really paying attention to anything anymore. I only just heard about it.
All right. I know we did this on the Boom.
I know what the gist of the story is, but
right. You know. So they had this big giant fight. There was so many camera angles on social media. Mm-hmm. I think it was filmed more than when the second plane hit the second tower on 9/11. It was crazy. Nobody comes in and steps in and just stops it or calls the police anymore.
Nah, why would you do that? That's crazy.
Everybody wants to film it so they can get, oh my God, look at this, so they can get all these views on social media. I'm guilty of it too.
I think that might have got pushed off my radar because I was really more interested in the two Sikhs in Stockton, California, whacking the shit out of the guy that was stealing the cigarettes out of the 7-Eleven. So, because I was like, that's awesome. As far as I'm concerned, those two guys should get a ticker tape parade down Broad Street.
They've been arrested.
I'm sure they have, but I think they'll get away with it. Well, Michael Knowles made an excellent point. He says he thinks that maybe they're sufficiently brown enough and the turban on the head might give them some religious immunity, so they might not take it as hard as, like, say, if Deuce did that in his convenience store.
The guy with the mop handle beat him for an excessively long time.
He deserved it.
I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. I'm just saying the guy was screaming in pain.
I think it was the second or third time that guy came in to do that?
Oh, to rob them?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
He was just like, hey, you can't do nothing because California, has subsidized thievery.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens when you subsidize, lawlessness.
Well, the whiter you are, the longer the sentence. It's the truth.
Yeah, it's just like, see, you spend money on behavior that you want. Okay, so if they were serious about stopping crime, they would spend money on more law enforcement, and they would lower the threshold down to like, oh, okay, if you steal anything, we're going to prosecute you. But in California, they did the opposite. They said, you know what? Steal up to $900, and it's not a crime. We'll just let you go, and we're not going to really punish you or prosecute you. You'll just get a slap on the wrist, and we're going to put you back on the street. So they subsidized exactly the behavior that they wanted. The state of California wants that behavior.
The other thing is, too, that they're training everybody else because these two people beat the shit out of that guy because they couldn't get the police to come in here and do anything. Yeah. He's already robbed them 3 times.
The police station was right across the street.
Because
directly across, because the cops were like, why bother? Because some Soros-backed prosecutor is going to let this guy go.
So now they're going to prosecute these store owners.
Right.
And that'll stick. That's the one. So what happens is now everybody else is like, well, I don't want to go to jail over this.
We need more vigilantism.
We do. We're going to have more. The first thing that they should have done was once they found out that guy took a video of that, they should have done the same thing.
Well, that guy switched sides.
Hmm.
If you watch that video at the beginning of the video, it's like, there's nothing you can do. You just got to let him go. And then when they start putting the ass whooping on, I'm like, yeah, give him another one. Yeah. Because I think that guy was reading the temperature of the room. Like, you know what? I could be the next guy getting an ass kick in here. And I'm not entirely sure if that guy that videotaped it wasn't with the guy that was robbing the place.
I thought he was behind the counter.
I don't know. I don't know what the situation is.
That's interesting, too.
Yeah, why was that guy just happened to be there videotaping, discouraging the store owners, I assume they were the store owners,
yes,
from taking action?
Yeah.
It's like...
Can't do nothing.
Don't do anything. Thought for food.
Right.
Thought for...
I say that you're going to see more vigilantism, the less the police get involved. The less that criminals are being prosecuted for this, the more that behavior.
Well, DeSantis just fired another Soros-backed district attorney, put him out on his ass.
You should have heard her whine and cry like a bitch, saying he's only doing this because he wants to destroy this democracy.
Yeah, that's on the agenda.
Right.
Yeah, that's on the agenda.
That's what he wanted to do. Instead of, maybe...
Make it and have everybody have a nice place to live.
Yeah. Enforcing law and order.
Let's have a normal society.
Right. I think it was I forget, it was 40% of the people. She was letting 40%, 4 out of 10 people off.
Yeah, don't do that again.
And guess who turned her in? The police. The police turned her in. They said, listen, we're going over here and we're catching criminals and we're giving her all this evidence and she's just letting them go back out on the street again. So then we got to go out and catch them again.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. But to this story with Garmin and everything, hopefully enough people start to wake up. I mean, I'm glad that Elon Musk bought Twitter and, the Daily Wire can put this stuff on Twitter because before it was just YouTube heavily redacts any Daily Wire content.
Yeah.
So if you're a host from the Daily Wire, you might put out an hour and 10 minutes, maybe 50 minutes of it or 38 minutes will make it on the YouTube. Can't talk about that. Can't talk about that. Can't talk about it. Thanks, Google. You wonder why I don't use Google. That's why. They own YouTube.
again, I don't feel sorry for the Daily Wire and anybody that uses YouTube. I don't live stream on YouTube anymore. I refuse to. I hate YouTube. I don't use any of their products anymore. Matter of fact, I just got rid of YouTube TV. I won't do it. And this is the reason why. Because they are adverse to free speech and a debate of ideological. Yeah.
More kamikaze.
Ideas. They are.
They don't like my ideas.
They don't like my ideas. This is the model that YouTube says, okay, you bring people over here and, I don't know, 1 million people watch that video. Okay, I'm looking at the Ben Shapiro video right now. It has
124,000 views.
Okay, hang on. Let me just bubble that up. What's it say now?
601,000 views.
All right, so they just brought 601,000 people to the platform here, so they could watch it here. Now, I don't know what they watched on YouTube, but YouTube has demonetized this video because they're talking about the World Economic Forum, and you're not allowed to talk about the World Economic Forum. All right, so you know that. Your video is allowed to be there. They're not going to promote it, and they're not going to pay you for it. So why are you putting it there? Don't go over there and sit there and take their money, their rules, right? You pay the cost, you're the boss. You know that they're going to do this, but you do this anyhow and then you cry about it because people that from the left side of the aisle, they're getting monetized and they're making more money and all this other shit. If you know that's what they're going to do, then why go there and why cry? If you're going to, then why cry about it? You've got Rumble.
Well, because it's got the perception of being free, and because it's owned by Google, it's got the reach.
Of course it does.
It's convenient. It's convenient.
It's convenient. Right now, Rumble.
That's why Daily Wire, their whole platform was going to be a for-profit thing. It wasn't like, we're going to get some altruistic guys to donate us money. No, we're going to make money doing this, and they're being very successful. And now with Elon Musk, being on, Matt Walsh's What is a Woman documentary. I think it's like the best-selling documentary in the history of documentaries. It's available on the internet,
Right.
And who put that out? The Daily Wire, because of people like me to support it.
All right, so now...
Pay that $99 a year.
Oh, yeah, I stopped paying them.
Shameless plug.
I know. I think Twitter, if they're smart, will start taking and allowing people to put videos up like the Daily Wire. And now you can monetize your content on Twitter. This is huge. This is huge. If they start doing what YouTube has done and start taking money away from YouTube, then it'll be interesting. See, again, a corporation doesn't care if you're a Republican, doesn't care if you're a Democrat, doesn't care if you're black, you're white, you're gay, or whatever.
Most of them.
They don't care. They don't care. The only thing they care about is making money, profit. 15% profit, 15% increase of profit year over year. That's the goal every time. If you make 14%, you didn't make 14%, you lost 1%. That's how this goes. So money talks and bullshit walks. Just like Bud Light, they did that thing, and everybody said, fuck this, and they've lost hundreds of millions of dollars.
That was Vanguard's doing. Yeah.
Hundreds of millions.
BlackRock, rather. BlackRock and Vanguard.
Right.
BlackRock owns like 24% of InBev.
Right. Now they've taken a big hit.
Disney's taking it on the chin. I mean, they put most of their movies that have come out are they're not doing well at all.
Their streaming service is, how do you lose money in a streaming service?
I canceled last December. I got sick and tired of it. The content was subpar, and there was this heavy-handed messaging. I just wanted entertainment. I just wanted to watch superhero movies. That's all I wanted to do.
You can't do it anymore. So the more that people walk away from it, the more that they'll finally say, hey, guess what? It's nice that we were doing all this, and we had this message, and we had this ideology. But, hey, look at me saying that word right this time. So we had this ideology, and now we're losing money. So fuck the ideology. Let's start making money again. That's, I think, what's going to happen. This is competition. This is capitalism. Elon Musk bought Twitter. I'm not 100% sold on Elon Musk as he's this great leader of free speech. He's too far up China's ass with all the shit there. They've got him by the balls.
In what way?
Well, he makes most of his cars over there.
Yeah, cheap labor.
I understand that. But, if they...
where are all those Apple computers that you and I are using? Where are they made?
I made over there. It's another company that is now starting to lose money. They're not making money like they used to.
No. Well, the economy sucks, so no one has that disposable income that they had a couple of years ago when the Orange Man was in.
Right, but also, who can afford a phone that's $1,300? That was more than the first car I ever bought. $1,300. That's,
by the way, your first-hand car, that was a Plymouth Horizon.
It was a Plymouth Horizon.
Yeah, yes, I heard you struggling with that on
I know we called it the slip slide. The slip slide Horizon Glide is what we used to call it. You know, I just don't trust him. That's all. I just say I don't trust him. But if he starts taking Twitter and start using the model that YouTube was doing, and you make it advantageous for people to come over there and put out their content and drive people to that, then the advertisers will come, and so will the people. And then you'll start making money. And then once you start taking money off the table of YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and those other platforms, TikTok, you know, you can't say shit on TikTok. They'll ban you. That's one guy Kramer says over there. He's probably had like 80 accounts that have been banned so far. Probably even more now. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see where this goes. I like the fact that you can now put long form video up on Twitter. If I wanted to.
Yeah, Matt Walsh put it up there. And they had a gigantic.
We can live stream here, you and I, anytime that we want to. Here, we can live stream right to Twitter. And it stays up there. I haven't done it because I don't get that much engagement out of it. But we could. Also, we would not have, well, there's no sense in live streaming this because there's no video. I mean, we could do the audio, but it is what it is. Trust me, I like this better because for the simple fact that we don't have to worry about it. You know, it's a lot easier.
There's strings come attached with that shit.
You know, we're eating pizza, we're drinking drinks, or, you know, we take a break, we talk to the audience. You know, we do all that.
Laugh, fart, carry on.
Yeah. I like being able to do that. You can't do that on live streaming. I don't, for some reason, it puckers my asshole up when we live stream. I feel like it should be done like a TV show. And when things get all loosey-goosey and we sit there and we're staring at each other like two jerk-offs, I get excited. Now, when you and I sit here and something happens and we're staring at each other, or I know I could take this out and I sound amazing after we get done this.
I've got my fingers on the pulse beat of society.
Yes. I make myself look fantastic.
Call me Maestro.
Maestro. I can do all of that.
The kamikaze maestro.
Yes. So there's another story here where Gen Z aversion to phone calls has created a brutal dating trend. Just give them a call. It's a phrase that may become obsolete when you consider only 1 in 10 Generation Z Aussies will prefer to talk to their friends and family via phone call. Did you ever try to talk to your, I don't know, how does it when you talk to Wise on the phone? Can you have a phone call conversation with him?
Yeah.
My kids, it's tough. They want to text all the time.
Right.
I hate texting. Takes too long. I can't spell. I fat fucking thumb everything. It's ridiculous.
Somebody just told me that when they text with me, he said it's like reading a book. It's like everything's properly capitalized. There's punctuation where it belongs. It's not like just a unpunctuated run-on sentence like most texts are. Because I must be the only idiot out there like, I don't know. That's not spelled right. Go back.
You proofread your text?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, mine are pristine when they go out.
No, I send shit out. And
I says, well, that's just because that's my my fifth grade teacher. You know, she used to say she was big on grammar and everything. I guess that's why I'm the grammar Nazi that I am, because of my fifth grade teacher that I had, because she used to say lazy grammar is a sign of a lazy mind. So it's like,
who said that?
My fifth grade teacher.
I thought you said I said that. I never said that.
No, my fifth grade teacher. She said lazy grammar is a sign of a lazy mind.
Yeah, I'm sitting here right now and I'm looking at your texts. You're absolutely right. Everyone is punctuated, capitalized, commas. Yeah, look at you. Got pictures in here.
Yeah, you put that on my tombstone.
No.
He was a great text sender.
On your tombstone, we make a grammar mistake. You're down there. No! How dare you?
That is a good Socratic irony. Hey, look at that. The guy was so good at punctuation and they fucked up his gravestone.
Yeah, I guess for me, I do both. So what I do now is now they have a thing where you can hit a voice thing and send a voice message.
Dictation. That app has gotten better.
That's one thing.
That app has gotten better, I mean.
Right. No, you hit the button and it sends your voice. Like, in other words, it's like a little voice message.
I don't know if I'd like that.
See? I'm a fan of that. I like that better.
Convenience.
It is.
Part of the problem. But getting back on like what we're talking about here, Once again, in the break room, there's a guy in the break room who's just basically Stu-Nod. Yeah, this guy can't do, and he can't work a computer. He always needs help. He can't take the tests that we have to take on the computer. So they fucked up one of our paychecks about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. And he was getting the paycheck stubs mailed to his house instead of like, hey, I can look at my paycheck stub right here on my account. Like, even I do that. It's like, I'm not that much of a barbarian. So he's looking at the wrong, he gets his wife involved, which is his first mistake, because apparently his wife must be a real piece of work. I never met her, but just the way she has him jumping through hoops. So he calls her and said, yeah, they fucked up our paycheck. I need you to look at the paycheck stub. Well, he forgets to tell her that he didn't get it yet because he's doing it the old-fashioned way. But we know that it's screwed up because we can do it in right now.
Yeah.
Hey, look, they fucked this up. You know, she got up his ass. She's yelling at him. So now he wants to change it, that he wants to get his electronically like we all are.
Mm-hmm.
I leave the break room and I come back and my buddy is helping this nitwit, as he always is on the computer. So this guy cannot write a fucking letter. So he's sending an email out to someone that's in charge of that department. And all it is a 1 or 2 sentence, run-on sentence, no fucking punctuation. It's just like no commas, nothing, no caps. And he's like, yeah, I would like to start getting my, I said, really, that's how you're going to do it? No, dear sir or madam, or to whom it may concern, and he's just like, so he begrudgingly types that in. And then he looks at me and says, so I guess I just put Fred Hemslaw. I said, oh, not sincerely or yours truly or thank you, Fred Hemslaw, don't put XOXO. And at that point, he got furious. Like, why the fuck would I put XOXO? Why the fuck would you don't know how to do anything else by writing a fucking letter? It's like, what the fuck? And of course, I'm a broken record here. This guy's about 30 years younger than me, and he cannot construct a fucking letter to convey a message. It's just because it's this texting world that we live in and everything. It's just fucked up.
So what is your feeling on this Chat GPT shit, this AI where you can do...
Well, that's a horrible outfit. Did you hear what was going on with that?
No.
Now, see, this is why you should subscribe to the Daily Wire for $99 a year. Andrew Clavin was going on about it. And basically, the programming that they started with that, people have to teach the computer how people behave.
Yeah, okay.
So what they had to do, and I'm paraphrasing the story that he told, they had to get people to watch unspeakable, horrible videos of child pornography and people being tortured and say, yeah, that's bad. Don't do that. Because the AI will teach itself.
Okay.
But it needed a mainframe to learn from. So you needed people to say this is wrong. So Chat IGT, whatever it's called,
GPT.
They got a company and they paid this company $13.80 an hour. And this company in turn got these poor Kenyans, people from Kenya, and they paid them $1 a day to sit there and watch these horrible videos and have them input that's bad, don't do that. Now these people are getting kind of fucked up because they've been subjected to horrible child pornography videos, people being tortured videos, people being beaten. Some of them their divorces, they're getting divorced because they immersed themselves into that so much that they got desensitized to that. Maybe child pornography is what I'm into now. It's so, it's fucking terrible, but everyone thinks how great AI is. I will not knowingly engage in it.
Or when I see these child porn, my pee-pee gets stiff. All right, so what I have is, because I hate writing show notes, I have this thing, it's called Cast Magic. And what I do is after we get done recording this, I take and I drop the audio in, and it does a transcript of everything we say. So I did this for the last episode. And what it does is it gives us titles of the last episode, keywords, and the introduction. I just drop it in there. It does it all by itself. So I just brought it up. So for episode 117, Everyone Hates Domingo, here's the titles of Chat GPT, where this is their AI. Pop Racer, The Badass of Speed Racer. Title 2. Unleashing Pop Racer, the Supreme WWE Wrestler.
We really made Pop Racer something.
Number 3. Roaches in the Break Room, a story of extermination. Number 5. Losing a Child, a parent's worst nightmare.
Wow. Did we even talk about that?
I don't remember. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I can't even think what we talked about that would pop up.
Number 7. Duplex Dreams, a son's path to financial freedom.
Wow. That's not what that podcast was about at all.
Florida Adventures, giant roaches in Disney World.
Yeah, okay.
I almost made that the title. So here's the introduction it reads for you. On this episode of the Brand X podcast, Deuce and John discuss a variety of topics and personal stories. They start off diving into the character of Pop Racer from the show Speed Racer, highlighting his badassery and resemblance to Uncle Carmen. They also talk about their fascination with Speed Racer videos on YouTube. Hosts then shift gears and share their story about encountering a roach in the room and their swift reaction to deal with it. They also discuss humorous mix-ups with a store manager in Pennsylvania and reflect on the panic and fear of losing a child in the store. Next, the conversation turns towards empathy for parents whose children have been sexually abused and concerns about the sexualization of children at young ages. The hosts also recount heartwarming stories of a frail man named Larry who...
I just wish Larry was here to hear that.
who defied expectations and found employment at their store. Moving on, they share an anecdote about the encounter with the Philadelphia Phillies broadcaster, Harry Callis, spelled Callus, and his tall stature. They also discuss their son's decision to buy a duplex. Like we're married, right? It's like
right.
We're a gay married
No one
couple.
would have listened to this podcast if you used any of that.
I want to use all of it. It's so fucking funny. I want to use the whole thing.
It's funny to us because
I understand that.
That makes us sound serious. I'm not serious.
I know, it's crazy.
This is just levity.
Ugh.
This is brain candy.
This whole show is just us to get together, day drink, and eat fucking lunch and bullshit for 2 hours. That's what it is.
I didn't mean to hit that.
That's actually worked.
I had to close the window. Sorry.
That's all right. Works for me. All right, guess what it's time for now?
Oh, probably podcast shout-outs.
Yeah,
We'll
look
get
at me.
to watch it on the big screen. Will this one be up to date?
Oh, it's up to date, all right. After the berating I took last time, I said, all right, you know what? Deuce is right. I have to take and figure out a way to be able to make it where Deuce can be able to read these things. They're up to date all the time, and I'm smart enough to figure this out.
Smarter than the average bear.
Yes. All right. Well, take over. It's your part. It's your part.
If you are looking for some other great independent podcasts to check out, we highly recommend these podcasters. Jason and Mindy podcast with the Jason and Mindy.
They're once a month now or every other week?
They are now doing every other week. So it's bi-weekly. And I heard from Mindy. She missed our July one. Because if you listen, I don't know if you listened to the last podcast, she's like, where the hell's my podcast?
Yeah, I did listen to it.
Well, yeah, she sent me, a text and perfectly punctuated. It was pristine. It was
like
great.
you wrote it.
Yeah, exactly. And then she checked back and she said for some reason her podcatcher didn't update. And I've had that on I think they use Apple as we do.
Dude.
And sometimes my Apple podcast does not update my podcast either.
It's the most used and the worst fucking podcast app out there. Do yourself a favor for free. Go download Overcast. Mm-hmm. It's the best fucking podcast player out there. It's free. You can go. It's so much better than.
Is it convenient?
No. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's convenient.
Oh, then
it's
I don't know any part of it.
Yeah, I know. That's the episode title. Deuce, doing it the hard way.
She said, when are we going to get together? I says, well, now that you guys are podcasting every other week, I says we might be able to like make that. It might be easier because as of right now, they're doing it on Fridays.
Okay.
So maybe sometime in the future
we can set it up.
We can roll back. I can roll in here later on a Friday.
Sure.
And do something.
I'm all for that. Yeah, let's do that. The Fine Whining Podcast with Mike Cheese and former rubbernecker Devin.
Who's right with Doug and Anthony.
Am I Canceled with Edward and Josh. He hasn't been on in forever, but Edward's still hanging on hope that he might actually come back.
Just hoping against hope, huh?
Mm-hmm.
The Unwritable Rant with Juliet Miranda.
I Shake My Head with Lisa and Sam.
The Po Boys Podcast with that motherfucker Jody B. Okay.
The Steel Toe Morning Show with Aaron, Johnny, and April.
The Boomer Bunker with Deuce's favorite podcaster, Boomer Bob, the Duchess, and John.
Brilliant Observations with Melissa and Amy.
Rubberneckers Podcast with Jody and John.
We are ending the Rubberneckers Podcast at episode 100. Right now, we're at episode 9. We're going to be recording episode 90. So we got there's going to be 11 episodes left to record. So after that, we're done. It was a little tough to do 3 a week, and I felt like I was doing 3 poorly. So I want to focus more on the Boomer Bunker and this podcast. So
that's you two once a month.
Well, I'm never going to stop this podcast. I was just being nice to you. So actually, I want to focus more time on the Boomer Bunker. And since you're doing this, hey, listen, I hung up the sign.
Yeah.
So I'm investing more time. Just saying. So, yeah, so that'll be the end of that. Shitty Song of the Week with Brendan, Red, and Teresa, who I call
The Delvin Cox Experience with Delvin Cox.
And Wheelbarrow Full of Dicks with Mike, Travis, and Drunk. All right, that's it. That's it for this week. Jesus Christ. The other thing is, it's not going to be that bad to edit because it's so much easier to do. But if you've hung on this long, we appreciate it.
Oh. One more story.
Sure.
When we were eating, I forgot about it. My son and daughter-in-law, they had a baby and everything. And so we're getting to the nitty-gritty. It's almost time. And they weren't exactly sure when the baby was going to be born because they weren't exactly sure when she got pregnant. But then going to doctor's visits and taking ultrasounds, they were able to pin the due date down. So they had moved it back maybe a week, say, because the original due date was going to be between August the 5th and August the 13th. But then they moved it back about a week, like I said.
About a week back?
About a week back. So we went to a bar, and my buddy Ray was there with his wife and her brother. So they were asking questions like, "Oh, when's the baby?" I says, "Oh, it could be any time now." It says they moved the time back. I says, "So it's all good, and it could happen in this window. I just hope it doesn't happen on August the 4th." So Ray's wife gets this perturbed look on her face, little angry. She says, "Well, what's wrong with August the 4th?" Now Ray knows what the joke is that I'm going for. But he also knows some news that I don't know, and he just ducked his head down low, and basically that was my That was my cue. Well, you're on your fucking own on this one. So she says, "Well, what's wrong with August the 4th?" I said, "Well, that bastard Obama was born on August the 4th, and so was some evil woman that we know. So it's my contention that all evil people are born on August the 4th. Her brother's birthday is August the 4th.
Well, at least it's not her.
So it's So, what are the fucking odds, But I have to say, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
But so now Ray knew the joke that I was going for, but they had no idea, what was going on. So, thank Christ his birthday was not August the 4th, is all I could say.
It was, or? Oh,
it was not.
The baby.
Yeah. So,
the baby's not.
We dodged that bullet. I don't want no Obama birthday on there. I would just lie. I would forge his birth certificate if that happened. And I was like, we're not having that. So.
It's the weirdest shit that you get all jammed up about. It's just,
it was just a joke.
I know.
You can't joke about people's birthdays. Ask me how I know.
All right, everybody. We appreciate you hanging out with us. And if you like the show, tell a friend. Again, it takes all month. So take this and listen to it in little bite-sized. Listen a half hour, listen a half hour, listen a half hour. And we'll be back, let's see, August. We'll be back, probably September 11th, right? Maybe.
So I'm off that day.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
If I'm off.
So we'll be back next month, and thanks for hanging out as we record another episode of the Brand X Podcast.
Adios, bitches.
Eat my fart box.
Will you shut the fuck up so I can end the recording?
That's it. We're just getting into it.